Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everybody. Today we're going hyper-focused, zeroing in on all the biggest AI developments that hit the news today. That would be Monday, March 24th, 2025.
So think of this as your AI daily deep dive.
Exactly. And get this whole thing, all the research, the script, everything you're about to hear.
It was all put together by AI.
AI. Kind of wild, right?
Definitely makes you think.
So what are we looking at today? Well, AI's impact on the job market are robots taking over. We'll see. Then there's a massive donation for AI ethics research, which is always a good thing. We'll also get into the rapid rise of AI in advertising, how people are trying to measure AI's intelligence, who's to blame when AI makes medical errors, and finally a roundup of the best AI writing tools out there. Ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, first up, jobs. There's this article asking point blank, is AI coming for your job? It examines how AI is changing careers across the board, and the big question, I guess, is whether AI will replace human skills or actually help us level up.
It's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah, for sure. So, starting with trade jobs and industry, the article brings up Bo Drake's perspective. He's over at Chattanooga State, and he sees AI not as a job killer, but as a partner, something that can make jobs safer and more efficient.
Right. But he does say that workers will need to learn some new tech skills to, keep up and work effectively with AI systems.
Exactly. It's not about just letting the robots do everything. Human judgment is still crucial for those tasks that require, well, a human touch or just plain common sense.
So it's more about collaboration than replacement.
That seems to be the idea. And speaking of collaboration, David Burgess, also at Chattanooga State, has this great example of AI working with bricklayers. Imagine machines handling the repetitive stuff, mixing mortar, laying bricks, and humans tackling the more complex tasks and troubleshooting any problems that come up.
That's a pretty clear image of humans and AI working together.
Totally. He also talked about how augmented reality could give technicians instant access to manuals and all sorts of info, which could really boost their efficiency and accuracy. It's all about AI making you better at what you do, not replacing you.
But it does raise the question of how quickly the workforce can adapt. If these AI-powered tools become the norm, how fast can people learn to use them effectively?
That's a great point. And then the article gets into how AI is affecting professional and creative fields. Jaynes, again from Chattanooga State, he points out the huge changes happening in areas like digital media, web design, accounting, economics, you name it, even logistics. They're even incorporating AI into their curriculum, starting with the paralegal program a couple years ago. They want to make sure their students are ready for an AI-driven world.
So they're being proactive, recognizing that these changes are here to stay.
Oh yeah, he's pretty clear that this is the future of work. But when the article gets to creative fields, things get a little more complicated. Well, John Goggans, a graphic designer, brings up some ethical concerns about the authenticity of AI creations. He argues that AI can't really think critically or come up with genuinely original ideas. Those flashes of inspiration that drive human creativity.
So he's saying AI can churn out stuff based on what it's learned, but it lacks that spark of human insight.
Exactly. And he advises designers to really lean into their unique viewpoints because that's something AI just can't replicate. That human element is still valuable, maybe even more so now.
That touches on a really interesting debate. What even is creativity? Can AI be truly creative, or is it just mimicking patterns? And who owns the copyright to something created by AI? Those are big questions.
Absolutely. And the music industry is already grappling with this. The ELVIS Act in Tennessee, signed just last year, protects songwriters and performers from unauthorized AI imitations of their work.
Wow, so lawmakers are starting to address the legal and ethical side of AI creativity.
Yep, they're trying to catch up with the technology. And speaking of preparing for the future, Patrick Ward at Chattanooga State talks about how they're giving students practical AI skills, like using predictive analytics and cyber defense to stay ahead of threats. So it's not just about AI taking jobs, it's also about creating new ones that require AI expertise.
It sounds like being able to analyze and use data generated by AI is becoming a crucial skill across industries.
Totally. The article ends by contrasting Bo Drake's optimistic view, embrace AI, it's an opportunity, with a more cautious outlook, particularly in creative fields. There's worry about the long-term impact, whether AI can truly replace human creativity.
It seems like the consensus is that AI is definitely transforming careers, bringing both new possibilities and new challenges, and being able to adapt is key. But human expertise is still vital.
For sure. Okay, let's shift gears and talk about a major development in AI research. The New York Times is reporting that Reed Hastings, the Netflix co-founder, is donating a whopping $50 million to his alma mater, Bowdoin College.
50 million. That's serious money. What's it for?
It's to establish a new initiative called AI and Humanity. What's really interesting is the focus on the ethical and societal implications of AI. It's not just about pushing the technology forward, it's about understanding how it affects us as humans.
That's great to hear. It seems like people are finally starting to think about the bigger picture.
Right. The goal is to make Bowdoin a leading center for studying these ethical questions and to prepare students to use AI responsibly. Apparently, this is the biggest single gift the college has gotten since 1794, so it's a pretty big deal.
Wow, that really emphasizes the importance of this initiative.
Totally. Hastings actually believes that AI's impact could be even bigger than social networking and could change our human norms.
That's a bold statement.
It is. And the program is taking an interdisciplinary approach, combining computer science with ethics, philosophy, social sciences, and the humanities. The idea is to really dig deep into the potential risks and figure out how to guide AI development in a way that benefits humanity. It's also about giving students the skills to be responsible AI practitioners in any field they go into.
That makes a lot of sense. To address these complex questions, you need a broad perspective, not just a technical one.
Exactly. Hastings even stressed the role of liberal arts education in dealing with these issues, which is interesting coming from a tech giant. No surprise, Bowdoin's leadership and faculty are thrilled about this. It shows a growing awareness of the need to address the ethical side of AI, especially as it keeps advancing so quickly.
It's encouraging to see these proactive efforts to shape the future of AI in a responsible way.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to the world of advertising. The IAB, the Interactive Advertising Bureau, just dropped their State of Data 2025 report, and it looks like AI is becoming a major player in advertising.
I can see that happening. Data and technology have always been at the heart of advertising.
Definitely. The report was put together by the IAB, BWG Global, and Transparent Partners, and they surveyed over 500 experts. They found that AI is being used in media campaigns, but it's still early days. Only about 30% of those surveyed said they've fully adopted it.
So it's on the rise, but not fully mainstream yet.
Right. And interestingly, agencies and publishers are adopting AI faster than brands themselves.
That makes sense. They're usually the ones on the cutting edge of new tech in campaigns.
Yep. The report predicts that about half of the industry will be using AI by 2026. But here's the thing. Almost half still don't have a clear plan for how to implement it.
So there's enthusiasm, but maybe not a solid strategy in place.
Yeah, kind of a ready, fire, aim situation. Right now, AI is mainly used for boosting efficiency. Things like yield management, optimizing ad placements, automating routine tasks. But the report says the real game changer will be generative and agentic AI. David Cohen, the IAB CEO, says we need to completely rethink how agencies, brands, platforms, and publishers work together because AI will be driving every part of media campaigns, from planning to analysis.
Wow, so a complete overhaul of the advertising process.
Pretty much. The report also points out some roadblocks to wider adoption. The biggest one is data quality and protection, followed by the sheer number of AI tools out there, which can be confusing. Job security wasn't as big a concern as you might think.
So the focus is on making sure the data is reliable and that there's some clarity in the AI tools landscape.
Exactly. Transparency is another big issue. Brands are worried about how their partners are using AI, and agencies are concerned that brands might start handling more advertising in-house using AI tools. There's a need for more open communication and trust.
Trust and transparency are always crucial in any partnership, but especially when you're dealing with something as powerful as AI.
Absolutely. The report actually outlines 18 key tools and practices for successfully using AI, but right now, the usage and planning for these are pretty low.
So there's a gap between recognizing the potential of AI and actually implementing solutions.
Yep. Angelina Ng at IAB stresses the importance of a phased approach. Prioritize data quality, training, collaboration, and figure out the best initial uses for AI. She warns that those who fall behind risk getting left behind. The IAB is even launching a guide and webinars starting today, March 24th, to help the industry navigate this.
It sounds like the advertising world is at a crossroads, excited about AI, but still figuring out how to use it effectively.
Right. The message is clear. Have a strategy, make sure your data is top-notch, be transparent about how you're using AI, and collaborate. That's how you unlock AI's potential in advertising and really change the game.
It's about harnessing the power of AI responsibly and strategically.
Okay, let's switch gears again. This next one is all about how we measure AI's intelligence. There's this article discussing whether the traditional ways we've been evaluating AI, using benchmarks like HelloSwag and MMLU, are still effective.
Interesting. So are we using the right yardsticks to measure AI progress?
That's the question. If our tools aren't accurate, how can we really assess how AI is developing and what its strengths and weaknesses are? The concern is that these old benchmarks might be outdated, too easy for AI to manipulate, and not really representative of how AI is used in the real world.
So the benchmarks are becoming obsolete as AI rapidly improves.
That's the worry. These benchmarks are basically tests to evaluate AI's reasoning and language understanding, but now people are doubting their effectiveness. And Anka Roel at Stanford has been doing some fascinating work on this. She created something called Better Bench, which actually evaluates the quality of the benchmarks themselves.
Wow, so it's like a benchmark for benchmarks.
Exactly, and it also offers guidelines for making better evaluation tools. The crazy thing is, her research shows that the benchmarks we're relying on are all over the place in terms of quality.
So it's not just about testing AI, it's about testing the tests themselves.
Right, but one of the problems is that there's resistance to switching to new benchmarks. It takes time, resources, and effort. So people might stick with the old ones, even if they're not the best anymore.
I guess that's human nature, sticking with what's familiar, even if it's not ideal.
But some new initiatives are trying to fix this. The Humanities Last Exam, or HLE, developed by CAIs and Scale AI, is a new benchmark with almost 3,000 expert-level questions from all sorts of fields. It's designed to see if AI can handle really complex interdisciplinary knowledge.
That sounds much more challenging and comprehensive than the old tests.
Definitely. OpenAI's deep research tool only scored 26.6% on it initially, and HLE is designed to be Google-proofed. No internet searching allowed. But researchers think those scores will climb quickly.
It's a constant race between AI improving and benchmarks needing to catch up.
And Thomas Wolfe at Hugging Face argues that we need a whole new way of thinking about measuring AI. He says we should move beyond right or wrong answers and start looking at things like innovative thinking, the ability to ask bold questions, and even challenge what we think we know. He's worried about creating what he calls yes men on servers, AI that just agrees with everything it's told.
That's a great point. Are we measuring true intelligence or just the ability to regurgitate information?
Exactly. Wolf wants to see AI that can ask the right questions, not just give the right answers. He thinks we should value the quality of the questions AI can generate and its potential to push the boundaries of knowledge.
So it's about fostering curiosity and critical thinking in AI, not just accuracy.
Right. The article concludes that we desperately need better ways to measure AI intelligence and highlights projects like BetterBench and HLE. It's going to take a joint effort from researchers to come up with benchmarks that encourage real innovation and consider the ethical implications.
It's a reminder that as AI gets more sophisticated, our ways of evaluating it need to get more sophisticated too.
All right, moving on to a topic with huge implications for healthcare. Who's to blame when AI makes a medical error?
That's a big one. AI is being used more and more in healthcare, so the question of responsibility becomes crucial.
Definitely. This article looks at the rise of assistive AI in healthcare and the ethical and legal challenges it brings. A recent brief in JAMA Health Forum by researchers from Johns Hopkins and UT Austin suggests that AI might actually be making it harder to prevent errors and could be contributing to physician burnout.
Really? So instead of easing the burden on doctors, AI might be adding to it.
That's the concern. It seems like AI is adding new layers of complexity and responsibility for healthcare professionals. And the biggest question, of course, is who's liable when AI makes a mistake in a medical setting. This has huge implications for doctors.
I can imagine. Medical malpractice lawsuits are already a big concern for doctors.
And the laws haven't caught up with the technology yet. The article points out that doctors are often expected to interpret and act on AI guidance even if they don't fully understand how the algorithms work.
That's a lot of pressure to put on doctors. They're being asked to trust a system they might not fully comprehend.
Exactly. And it can lead to burnout. Shefali Patil from Johns Hopkins is quoted as saying that AI was meant to help doctors, but it's ended up shifting liability onto them. Now they're both users of AI and responsible for its outcomes.
That's a tough position to be in.
For sure. Christopher Myers, also from Johns Hopkins, compares it to asking pilots to design the airplane while they're flying it. He says doctors need more support in integrating AI into their practice.
That's a great analogy. It highlights the need for training, clear guidelines, and institutional support.
Right. The JAMA Health Forum brief recommends a more collaborative approach to AI in healthcare, with continuous learning, teamwork, and resources for training.
It sounds like a system-wide approach is needed, where responsibility is shared and everyone is on the same page.
Absolutely. The article advocates for frameworks that prioritize transparency in AI algorithms, clear accountability, and collaboration between AI developers, healthcare providers, and policymakers. The goal is to empower doctors with these tools, not burden them with more liability.
It's about making sure AI is used safely and effectively in healthcare, with the best interests of both patients and doctors in mind.
Exactly. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about something that might be helpful for all of you out there. A Forbes guide to the best AI writing tools available right now.
With AI becoming so prevalent in content creation, it's good to have some expert recommendations.
Absolutely. The guide checked out over 18 different tools and picked their top 5. First up, best overall, is Paragraph AI. It's versatile, can create all sorts of content like emails and articles, and has features like tone and style sliders. It can even generate multiple versions of text at once, and you can give it custom instructions. There's a free version, and paid plans start at $12.49 a month. Good for both professionals and students.
So it's a good all-around tool for various writing needs.
Yep. Next is Grammarly, which they call best for editing. It's come a long way from just being a grammar checker. Now it has outlining, editing, drafting, even plagiarism detection. It works on different platforms and offers tone adjustments, paragraph rewriting, and outline creation. Subscriptions start at $12 a month. Good for writers who want help with grammar, tone, and drafting.
Grammarly is already a popular tool, so adding AI writing features seems like a natural progression.
Definitely. Now, for the fiction writers out there, their top pick is Pseudowrite. It's designed for creative writing and helps with storytelling, world building, character development. Think of it as an AI co-author. It has a story Bible feature, tools for brainstorming dialogue and plot points, and costs $10 a month and up. Perfect for novelists and creative writers looking for inspiration.
That sounds like a great tool for anyone struggling with writer's block or needing a creative boost.
Totally. For academics, there's PaperPal, the best for academics. It's specifically for students and researchers and helps with plagiarism detection, making sure your work is ready for journal submission. It integrates with tools like Word and Google Docs and has features for paraphrasing and refining academic tone. Plans start at $7.50 a month.
So it takes care of those specific needs in academic writing, like citations and formatting.
Yep. And finally, for beginners, Forbes recommends WordTune, the best for beginners. It has a user-friendly interface and focuses on rewriting and improving existing text. It offers different rewriting options, tone adjustments, and sentence shortening or expanding. Basic plans are $7 a month.
That's good for people who are just starting out with AI writing and want to keep things simple.
Exactly. The guide mentions they tested these tools themselves, looked at the features, the user experience, and even got feedback from experts. They also caution about potential plagiarism risks, the learning curve for some tools, and the cost of subscriptions.
It's a good reminder that these tools are meant to assist, not replace human writers. You still need critical thinking and careful editing.
Totally. So AI writing tools are changing the writing game, and there's something out there for everyone. Just make sure you consider the features, the price, and what you need before you commit. This technology is evolving rapidly, so who knows what the future holds.
It's definitely an exciting time to be a writer with all these new tools at our disposal.
That's it for our AI Daily Deep Dive for today, Monday, March 24th, 2025. We covered a lot: the changing job landscape, the importance of ethical AI research, AI taking over advertising, the difficulty of measuring AI intelligence, the complexities of AI in healthcare, and even the best AI writing tools.
It's amazing to see how much AI is affecting our world in so many different areas, all in just one day's news.
It really makes you think. Of all the advancements we talked about today, which one stands out to you the most? Which one makes you most excited or maybe a little bit worried about the future? It's fascinating to see how all these seemingly separate developments are connected and how they'll shape the world we live in. What are your thoughts?
I'm curious to hear what our listeners think.
Me too. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring the ever-changing world of AI.
And don't forget to check out the show notes for links to all the articles we discussed today.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.